They are unable to draw, even though they were at table 2.
Yeah,
they could not draw.
1x11 team will make it.
So they're going to be playing against the team of Royce Walter, Nick Patnode, and Lloyd Kurth. Of this team, the player that you probably have heard of before is Lloyd Kurth. He does have a top 8 at Grand Prix Atlantic City, which he got 7th place. He also has a top 8 at the Philadelphia Open in 2013, and 7th place at Worcester in 2012, another Open there. So, I mean, I think... Did you play against him in Atlantic City? I think we did.
We played a really fun match where I just kept attacking him and he died.
Was you playing red?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Obviously. You and mountains. Always mountains. It's
pretty
insane.
Always. That was
the other two guys, again, are Nick Patnode, he's from Syracuse, and Royce Walter, also from Syracuse. So some New York guys that have made it down here, and they are battling for their life against Larson, Volkson, and Bonde. You see, we're going to start here with Bonde against Kurth. Both players have a Mutavault in their deck, but one of them has a Predatory Sliver, and one of them has a Manaless Sliver. So, pretty good starts from both players, actually.
Lloyd Kurth is red-green slivers, and Michael Bonde is kind of green-white slivers. So, we get to see how the new slivers don't work against your opponent's stuff. Bit of a display of that.
All right, so in for 2 we go.
No Mutavault attack, and has a Root Waller to advance the board after that.
Yeah. So Kurth is going to draw a card.
Kurth has multiple Blur Slivers, multiple Mana Web Slivers. He can start doing some crazy combo stuff.
I mean, things can get out of control pretty quickly. I mean, Bonde just looks like he has a solid, looks like he just has like a really, really solid green-white deck, honestly.
Yeah, just some good beats.
And now there's a Trollhide. That's actually the first Trollhide I've actually seen cast today.
Really?
Yeah. Which is surprising to me, honestly, because Trollhide is a common and it's like a really good card and everything.
3.
Okay,
that's how many he's got.
Won't be the last. Good to know. So he's going to come across for 3 points of damage there.
Michael Bonde dropping to 17, representing 4 power for sure, up to 6, 8 if he has a land, 9 with the pump. So White could be just at 9 life at the end of this turn if Mike just wants to shove. It's a pretty scary proposition.
It actually is pretty scary just to be able to take all that damage. And of course, it's going to kind of be on the back foot.
Yeah.
But does Bonde want to expand his board position, or does he just want to get in a bunch of damage and pass back?
If that's a Sarah Angel in his hand, I think I want the damage.
Yeah, and then play Sarah the next turn?
Yeah, especially because 14 is significantly less than 9 when you're counting in force.
Yep. And now you see the Mutavault get activated. Bonde not going to play the land to pump up. I'm a little surprised. So he's going to come in for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, if he has a 2-drop, 11 is the same when you're counting in force as 9. So, yeah, it's perfectly fine.
And there is a 2-drop. Yeah. So we're going to slide it down, and it's a Deadly Reckless. Actually a pretty good 2-drop right now.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what Kurth is going to do on his turn, because he got aggressive on his turn by playing the Trollhide and attacking with the Mana Sliver, so getting in for 3 points of damage. But now he's behind on the board and behind in life total, and now he needs to start stabilizing. Where if he doesn't make that attack and just plays a 3/3 on defense and passes, it really slows Bonde down and forces him to build his board.
Well, I mean, Bonde still can attack with a Mutavault if he doesn't do that. He can still attack with a Root Wallet. It's really just Lloyd opted to trade 3 of Michael's life for 2 of his life. So Michael's sitting there, stacked board, facing down a Regenerator. Root Wallet is guaranteed to be able to get in. They each trade 2 mana. It's likely, if not, or it's possible, if not likely, that he can shove with everything if he wants to. But if he's not gonna, is that an enlarge? Oh boy.
That's just a Sarah Angel. So maybe he does have an enlarge in his hand, but he's not casting right now. I'm just going to play that Sarah Angel and pass the turn back.
Rather cast it on something that can't be shocked down.
Yeah. So again, he's just building his board, and then that is enlarge in his hand. So he's preparing for a very, very large turn, large attack next turn. Yeah, I feel bad right now. Yeah.
It's okay. Everyone has their off days.
They really do. Boy.
Lloyd Kurth playing the second mountain, passing back, representing
a couple of different things. I mean, it feels like the big card that he's representing right now is actually Chandra's Fury, or Chandra's Outrage.
Yes,
is the big one right now that it feels like. And especially when your opponent has 2 red mana and it's at common, it's not hard to be able to represent that, but also it's not hard for Bonde to be able to play around it.
Yeah, and given his play earlier, I watched him play around a removal spell for a long time 2 rounds ago. So I think he's inclined to not do that right now. Looks like Christopher Larson's already up a game.
Well, last time we saw Christopher Larson on camera outside of this event was at Grand Prix Miami playing a red aggro deck.
Well,
he likes to win fast, it looks like.
He's got the Regathan Firecat Marauding Maulhorn deck, with the time ebbs.
Yeah, are we typecasting him as a red aggro player?
I don't know.
Is that what he likes to do?
Is he the European Pat Sullivan? I don't know.
So you see Bonde kind of talking things over with Enevoldsen a little bit here about what he wants to do. You see Thomas kind of asking, or kind of confirming about what Bonde should do. Bonde looks like he's tapping Mutavault for mana. Maybe, okay, so it looks like he's activating Mutavault. Interesting. And now he's going to cast, okay, so he's going to be casting Hunt the Weak. Because his Mutavault is a 3/3, he wants to fight, he wants to battle here. It's going to become a 4/4. He's going to battle there, so now regeneration has to happen.
Fighting there, so, if Lloyd has the removal spell to blow him out, he doesn't lose a relevant creature in the Serra Angel. Yeah. Instead, he just loses the land.
I like that. I like that play so much.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot of different options of what he could fight with there, like the Deadly Recluse you can make an argument for, the Death Touch, various other things, but I actually like this play a ton here.
He keeps all of his creatures, doesn't risk anything to removal spell. Predatory Sliver not getting in, not going to get traded for the Mutavault. Rootwalla, he's perfectly fine trading.
Yeah.
Though, actually, trading for the Mutavault, that's, it's not just the fact that the Predatory Sliver dies. The Mutavault's got 3 damage on it.
Yep.
Don't want to do that. So if Lloyd traded his Mutavault for the Predatory Sliver if it attacked, that'd be 2 for 1.
Yep.
So Mutavault's gonna, looks like he's gonna mana up and block the Root Wall.
Maybe a Giant Growth being represented here, a Ranger Style or something of that nature, not entirely sure. Yep, so he's gonna block Rootwalla. He's gonna end up taking 5. His Kurth gonna move down to 6. Rootwalla and Mutavault are gonna trade. He's gonna pass the turn back.
Lloyd Kurth, 6 life. Looks like he has an enlarge of his own in hand.
Yep, and he's just going to concede the game. So Michael Bonde is going to win game number 1 over Lloyd Kurth. Christopher Larson also up a game as well. So the team of Larson, Enevoldsen, and Bonde off to a very nice start here in round 9 playing for top 4.
Importantly, Bonde didn't have to show that enlarge.
Yeah, and that's definitely important.
That card is
definitely
awesome.
Important. Yeah, I mean, it's an uncommon. You'd rather show a common than an uncommon given the choice.
Yeah.
And I mean, by showing Hunt the Weak,
you can sort of play. It's not like something that you necessarily can play around to the extent that you can play around an enlarge.
Yeah, and you can expect Hunt the Weak from a green deck in most cases. Where, I think that you might think there might be an enlarge, or maybe there isn't, but it's at least going to leave them guessing for the next game, which is important. So we see our outshot here. I think we're going to be moving on to the Volkson Patnode match. As again, Larson and Bonde have won their matches. You see both of those players, along with Royce Walter and Lloyd Kurth, are sideboarding as we cut over here to Tomas Enevoldsen and Nick Patnode. Patnode here with an Air Servant and a Challenger Phoenix in the air, along with some elemental tokens, likely from a young Pyromancer.
And then I think that's from the Molten Rebirth.
Okay, from the Molten Rebirth. Apologies. Oh, so
that's been rebought once. This time it failed. But, 1 card, 4 tokens, acceptable.
Yeah, not so bad. Kind of like a Goblin Rally.
Yeah.
On the Volkson side, you see the Corpse Hauler, Vampire Warlord, and also a Griffin Sentinel.
With a Mark of the Vampire.
Yeah, it looks like a Mark of the Vampire on it. There you guys see Molten Birth on the screen.
Air Servant taps down the life-linked flyer. And just getting in there with the 4/2 Vampire Warlord.
You see Volksen's hand right now. He's got multiple Auramancers in his hand. Makes you wonder if he has any enchantments to bring back.
Does not look like it. Looks like his graveyard's just an accursed spirit.
Yep. So he's going to sacrifice that. Lose the Mark of the Vampire as well, but he's going to get the Mark of the Vampire right back there with the Auramancer and pass the turn back. So he's got to slog through these elemental tokens.
Yeah. Once we mark up the Warlord, the race turns a little bit interesting. But until then, he's got to fade Patnode having almost anything.
Yeah. And he just has a Seacoast Drake, the 1/3 flyer for 2 and passing the turn back. So, Volkson gonna play Mark on the Vampire Warlord. Makes it a 6/4, sack a creature to regenerate it.
Lifelink, that's the key.
That is the key.
Chump blocked by an elemental token. Thomas regains the 6th life that he lost on Patnode's last attack.
Yep. And there's a Sea Skite, which is Patnode's last turn. or last card, excuse me. So Patnode's going to draw a card. Again, his board of Air Servant, Chandra's Phoenix, the Sea Skite, and the Drake. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 points of damage in the air.
So drops Thomas to 8, opts to leave back the Drake.
Yeah, so he's going to leave back the Drake, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But can he beat this 6/4 Vampire Warlord that can regenerate? A card like Disperse or Time Ebb would be huge right now.
Yes. Thomas is skimming his hand. He's got a Sengir Vampire that is soundly trumped by that Air Servant.
Yeah. This isn't the first time Air Servant has dominated a board position this weekend.
Patnode has the Zephyr Charge in the sideboard. It's a combo out with the Air Servant.
The enchantment that can actually give any creature flying, not just yours.
Yes.
So you can jump their creature and then tap it down with an Air Servant if you want to get really crafty.
Jarvis, was really excited about that combo a few days ago.
Yeah.
I think that may have been why they gave him all the swamps.
So we see 4 mana here post combat.
Looks like a Liliana's Reaver.
Yep. And that's exactly what that's going to be.
4/3 Death Touch. Whenever it deals damage to your opponent, they discard a card and you get a 2/2 tap zombie. Probably, it's one of those cards that isn't, they're not dead in a hit, but they're pretty dead.
They're not feeling good
No.
about taking a hit.
Especially unlimited.
Yeah, definitely true. And again, another attack here in the air. Just kind of treading water right now if you're Patnode. There's a Scroll Thief. Just going to pass the turn back.
Thomas is taking 2 a turn, but Patnode's losing a creature a turn.
Yeah, basically the Abyss.
Yes. It's a question of whether this clock in the air can get ahead. Patnode leaving back the Seacoast Drake so it can block down either the Auramancer or the Corpse Hauler.
Yep. I think, that one of his creatures is going to be on chump blocking duty. The question is he going to attack with any other creatures? You guys see Liliana's Reaver on the screen. That thing is absolutely huge at 4/3 for 4 mana. All relevant text on that bad boy, and it's turning sideways as well right now.
Patnode looks like he's chumping. He's blocking the Corpse Hauler, letting the Warlord through. Corpse Hauler's sacrificed. Gets back a Cursed Spirit.
Pretty good card in this matchup too. I mean, we saw a little bit earlier when Owen Turtenwald was playing against Drew Levin how Cursed Spirit just kind of dominated the game for Turtenwald just because Intimidate was so important.
Hits the battlefield. Patnode does not have an Essence Scatter for it. He's down to 4 life, facing down 2 lethal attackers, and dead in 2 hits to a Cursed Spirit. And he has to draw something.
He's staring at 2 islands right now, so
that's not something.
That is the definition of nothing. So he's going to pass the turn back. He's slowed down his attacking. So now if you're Volkson, you are thrilled that no more attacking, no more racing. I'm going to be able to get even more life, and I can just turn just about everything sideways. Going to leave Auramancer back on defense.
He could have gone for the kill. There's an Auramancer in hand, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Vampire Warlord is another creature.
That is correct.
All these new changes.
Yep.
I was thinking he could sacrifice the Warlord to itself, rebuy the mark, suit it up and kill. But
yeah, I mean, even if he could go for the kill this turn, it seems a little bit risky.
Wouldn't.
Yeah, it seems a little bit risky. You're so far ahead on board. Your life total's only going up.
So it looks like we have a chump block on the 6/4 and a double block on the Reaver to take it down. Nick left with only an Air Servant. Thomas going up to 18 life, playing another Corpse Hauler. Nick drawing just another land.
Yeah, and just going to show him the 3 that he's drawn over the past couple of turns and can see the game. So Thomas and Volkson is going to win his first game as well. So the team of Larson, Volkson, and Bonde have all won game number 1, playing for the top 4 right now.
We've watched them win a few really fast, decisive victories.
Yeah. I mean, their decks look like they're pretty good. Again, nothing insane, but they look like they have some pretty good decks, and these are 3 very, very good Magic players.
For sure. And another thing we've brought up a little bit earlier is, from what I understand, they're all pretty good friends. Like, their team dynamic, pretty strong.
Yeah.
They may, quibble and yell at each other, but it's all in good spirit.
Yeah. And I was talking to them during their deck building session about just how, were they happy with their decks, and then again they said that their decks were good. They weren't great, but they had good rares, and they were happy about that. And one thing that kind of goes underlooked and sealed is that even if your cards aren't that good sometimes, like good rares are they can just win for you.
Yeah.
There are days where you just draw your rares a lot and get the job done.
Oh, absolutely. I have some experience drawing Domreese and Savageborn Hydras over and over.
Not the worst problem to have. Here's a Time Ebb, as we're going to cut into Larson versus Walter. Time Ebb's going to put Child Knight back on top. You see a pacifism on one of Larson's creatures. He has an Auramancer as well. So we cut into the Walter-Larson match. Walter at 28, Larson at 8. Looks like he's going to be going down 2-6.
Relatively clear board. Walter's paying 2, dropping a Child of Night. Generic 2-1. Life gain's not a huge deal in the situation. Looks like Larson has a Volcanic Geyser in hand. Hoping to save that for something larger than these 2-1s and 2-2s, but we'll see if he has to fire it off. Enevoldsen providing some between game help.
Time ebb again.
Right back. Is that a Claustrophobia is the other card?
Yeah, it looks like it's Claustrophobia and Volcanic Geyser. So Larson's going to go down to 4 from this attack from the Oromancer.
Really using his life as a resource here.
Yeah, and here comes the Child of Night again. So Time Ebb playing as a makeshift Time Walk. Here's a Messenger Drake to try to hold the fort now. So definitely using his life tool as a resource.
Exactly enough life left over so that he can block a 2 power guy, take 2, survive this attack, sort of just make it through.
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming that Walter has nothing, though. I mean, even though he's been denied a draw step for the past 2 turns, he does have multiple cards in his hand. You see him reaching for 3 mana right away, and it's going to be a Quack Sickness to take care of the Messenger Drink. Larson going to get to draw a card.
I'm guessing the way he shoved that card down, he knew about that off the Oromancer. Child of Night's going to get destroyed via this Volcanic Geyser.
It does bite the dust. Here comes the Oromancer.
Christopher Larson down to 2, but his hand is Oromancer Claustrophobia. There's a hand that you can come back with. It's a good 2 to have.
Is that
Shivan Dragon?
That looked like a Shivan Dragon. He just needs some more life. I mean, the black-white deck doesn't have reach, but I mean, you can't be comfortable seeing it too against a deck that probably has like some flying or some fear or what have you. Archaeomancer is going to get cast. It's going to bring back the Volcanic Geyser. Well, Shivan Dragon is an interesting draw step too because it's a card that can really, really turn the game around in a hurry.
Yes. 28 is, looking at this, that's, what, 6 red sources? Yeah, that's 3 hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very long.
The question is, can he get it online? Yeah, so here comes that, and yep, you got to take care of it with the Volcanic Geyser for 3.
Fireball down. Royce
going to pass the turn back. All right.
Wow.
So can Larson turn the corner? He draws a Flames of the Firebrand. In for 1 with their Archaeomancer. Going to put Walter down to 27. And is he going to slam down the Shivan Dragon? You see him move 6 mana aside.
No reason not to.
Yeah, get it out there.
Uh-oh. Doomblade.
All right, so he does have an answer, does Walter, in Doomblade.
So we're going to have to go about this the hard way.
1 point at a time?
Might not have enough cards in the library, actually, thinking about it.
Quack Sickness to draw for Walter this turn. So he has a Quack Sickness in his hand. There's a Shock for Larson. Going to put Walter down to 26.
3 removal spells, but a 1/2 clock.
Mm-hmm. The draw here of Oromancer.
That is a good draw. That is another Quack Sickness.
Yep. That's another removal spell.
This is this white-black Aura's business is a nice one to be in.
I like this deck a lot. If you can get it, I wonder how feasible it is to get it into like a booster draft. But doing a sealed last weekend at Gunsling in Roanoke, I actually got the white-black enchantment deck in sealed. I had like an Ajani's Chosen, a Blightcaster, 3 Quack Sicknesses, a couple pacifisms, and I think if you can get it, it's one of the best decks in the format.
So Christopher Larson shocks down the Oromancer and brings the 1/1 beats again.
Yep.
Or 1/2 beats.
Block rockin' beats.
Oh yeah.
As some would say. Island, the draw step across for 1 we go. Walter down to 24. Such a long way to go for Larson.
Larson holding back a mountain to discard to a potential mind rot.
Yeah.
Opting to play the island, but keeping the mountain. 1/3 Griffin hits the table.
And if you're Larson, the worst part is you actually have to use a removal spell on a card like Griffin Sentinel in this game.
Yeah.
Like you're at 2, and he might know that Walter has that Mark of the Vampire in his hand from earlier because we see the multiple Oromancers in the graveyard. But the fact that you have to use like every removal spell to be able to kill the creatures that Walter draws has got to be infuriating. Like this 2/3. You have to Flames of the Firebrand this now.
My question is, why did he not Flames the first guy?
I'm a little surprised by that as well, choosing to use Claustrophobia on the first guy, because I think that Flames is the worst removal spell at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially. That's a Battering Maulhorn.
Yeah, that's
or
the
Marauding Maulhorn.
That's the 5/3. It's dead to Quack Sickness, though.
Everything dies to Quack Sickness.
Yep.
Is that a creature?
And now follow-up play. I think that's the Haunted Plate Mail.
Oh, yeah, that's a creature.
Yeah.
You could say that.
That is, quote, a creature, in for 1.
We haven't seen that one on camera yet.
The interesting thing about the Plate Mail is that he can't activate it.
Because
he's got the Griffin that's in the box. So he has a creature that can't attack, but he can't use the Haunted Plate Mail.
He's trying to activate it.
Yeah.
Nope. Haunted Plate Mail is also a contender for coolest card in the set.
So
Behind Bog Rich and that trio. This Oromancer is bringing the pain.
This is an unreal game. Larson feels like he's kind of taking control of the game, but he actually hasn't in reality. And what I actually think is going to have to happen now is I think Walter might have to try to kill his own creature, try to kill Larson with the Haunted Plate Mail. It might come down to that, as now Larson's going to play a Pitchburn Devil. Passes the turn. Walter draws his card, another land.
Second time today we've had a scenario come up. You might want to kill your own creature.
Yeah.
Interesting. He could have done that last turn, right? Yep. He has a Quag Sickness. He might have just missed it.
I think that he just didn't realize that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that he had a creature in play, because once it's claustrophobia, he's just like, okay, that's quote dead, unquote. Yeah, it's just not there. And so he's going to Quag Sickness the Pitchburn Devils.
I think he just didn't see that line.
Yeah, and I still think he doesn't see that line.
Wow.
I mean, now things have changed where he actually has to kill the Pitchburn Devils so that he can actually kill his Griffin Sentinel and then push through. But here comes our Chaomancer again, in for 1. Going to put Walter down to 15.
Looks like another Maulhorn.
All right.
The Red Juggernaut.
Draw a card.
What do we got?
Couldn't quite make out what that was.
Yeah.
Doomblade.
Oh, that's a good one. This is a lot of removal spells
I was about to say the same thing. Walter's deck has a ton of removal. You guys see on the bottom there, too.
2 Doomblades.
Michael Bonde, Lloyd Kurth, tied up now 1-1. So they'll be going to a third and final one. Bonde will be on the play that game.
3 Quag Sickness. Wow. That's a lot of removal. Pacifism. Diabolic Tutor for whatever he wants. 2 Oromancers for the Quag Sickness. Lots of things dying today.
You see Walter asking his teammate Patnode, should I cast this Doomblade on the Marauders? Is Larson going to fight back with a cancel? He is. He realizes that he needs this to be able to try to win.
Another time they didn't see the play on the Griffin.
Yep.
Okay, Patnode evens up his match, 1-1. So we got 2 game 3s and a tense game 2 going on over here.
Wow. He's going to untap, he's going to pass the turn back yet again. So now Larson's going to come in for 6 more. I think it's going to put Walter down to 3.
Yeah.
Now Larson's counting his mana. Yeah, that's a really comfortable feeling if you're Walter. He's counting his mana. Now he's looking through his graveyard. What did he draw?
I think, if I saw correctly, he's counting how many lands are left in his deck.
Okay. Yeah, because he just has an island and a mountain in his hand. Okay.
Yeah, he's got 2 lands left, I think.
See, Walter's hand, he has a Show of Valor.
He's got a bunch
It looks like he has some spells in his hand. I just don't know what they are.
Mark of the Vampires.
And he's going to concede the game. So Christopher Larson wins this match. You see him kind of smiling, 2-0. So he beats Royce Walter when he was at 26. That's insane.
That was a comeback.
That is an insane comeback. And I don't think Walter or Patnode realized that he could kill the Griffin Sentinel, activate the plate mail, and get the job done. And now you see Bonde extend the hand against Kurth. And I think that means, I'm not sure. Maybe okay, actually, I think they're still playing. Never mind.
He's got the card face up.
Yep.
No, they're packing
I'm
up.
not sure. Yeah, they're packing up. So we're going to get the result brought in here in just a moment about who won that game. You see Bonde immediately going over to Enevoldsen to find out what's going on in his game. So yeah, we'll tell you as soon as we know what happened between Kurth and Bonde. We'll let you know. Kurth won, so it's even up here. It's on the third and final game between Enevoldsen and Patnode for who's going to win this match.
For who's going to top 4 this event. It's game time.
You see, Enevoldsen is pile shuffling his deck right now, so this may be representing a mulligan being taken here.
Oh boy. And importantly, Enevoldsen, is he queued for next weekend? Is this his battle for
Enevoldsen is qualified for next weekend from the SCG in Cincinnati last year that he top 4 with Death and Taxes. And Enevoldsen is taking a mulligan here down to at least 6.
So we're playing this game for Christopher Larson's qualification.
Correct.
Okay.
Bonde is qualified already from winning 2 weeks ago with Junk Aristocrats. And Enevoldsen is already qualified from a top 4 in Legacy in Cincinnati last year with Death and Taxes. So Christopher Larson, besides making top 4 of this tournament, this is also for qualification to the Invitational next weekend in Somerset, New Jersey.
Yeah. So this is a battle for someone else's tournament life.
And it's out of his it's out of his hands. He can't do anything. I guess he can help, but if Enevoldsen doesn't agree with his plays, then he can't really help.
He just wants to see his friend suffer, baby.
Yeah, he can't really help. So, all right, this is a pretty important match. And don't even take away that, Walter, Patnode, and Kurth, we don't know if those players are qualified. We know that Kurth is qualified.
Right.
But is Walter and Patnode qualified? That's a big question as well. So there's actually a lot of riding on this. And it doesn't look like Enevoldsen's hand's very good.
Looks like a 5-time. Hand on the deck.
Yeah. You see a smile? I think Bonde tried to convince him to keep. And he's going to take another mulligan. So down to 5 he goes.
Christopher Larson does not look very amused at this
no, not
sequence
at
of
all.
events.
Not at all. Does not look too pleased at all.
That would leave 2 Larsons trying to queue tomorrow from the group.
Yeah, the only other one of the European contingent, Joel Larson, has not been able to qualify yet. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, we were in Worcester. He actually ended up getting like 12th place with Grixis. Kind of the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
He said he might be playing it tomorrow, so we'll see.
Yeah, he said that he's considering an updated build to Grixis for the Standard Open tomorrow.
Opportunity is a pretty big gain, I think.
That's what it looks like. I mean, no Sphinx is a revelation, but what is?
Yeah.
What is?
Close enough. Pat Chapin was talking about it. I think his article, was that today?
It was
yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday on Friday. We're Chapin, of course, a big Grixis enthusiast, talking about the effect that opportunity has and some of the other removal spells and stuff like that. And I agree that Grixis does get those upgrades, but again, it's very difficult to duplicate the power of Sphinx's Revelation, as good as the card as opportunity is.
Yeah. Drawing cards is only part of what Revelation does.
Yeah.
The life gain really seals the deal.
Yeah.
Same with Cruel Ultimatum back in the day. Is it? Okay.
3,
okay.
4, and 5. It's another one-lander.
No, it's a 2-lander.
Is it a 2-lander? Looked like a one-lander. There's a Plains. All right, so he does have a Swamp, too. All right, so there is a young Pyromancer. Swamp drawn for the turn. Wilson's going to pass the turn back. Patnode going to start by attacking for 2 with that Pyromancer. Does play an island, and let's see if he has a 3-drop. He does not. So, Enevoldsen draws a Swamp for the turn. Looks like he has a Quag Sickness. Going to take care of that young Pyromancer. Is there a negate or a cancel or something here? There's a Disperse. That's going to give him a 1/1.
Okay. Save our guy, make a 1/1.
Yeah.
Not a bad option.
2 mana. There's your young Pyromancer. Come across, roll with the Elemental token. Going to knock Enevoldsen down to 17 as he draws a Swamp for the turn.
Triple Mark of the Vampire?
What's that?
His hand looks like it's triple Mark of the
It's
Vampire.
a lot of those.
And a Fiendslayer Paladin.
Wow.
If I'm correct, is Fiendslayer Paladin only opponent's control? Because if it's not, that's actually really funny.
Can't be the target of black or red spells your opponent's control. That is correct.
That's lucky. A little bit of a dodge there.
What's unlucky is the 1 Plains that he has in play right now, and how he needs to draw a second one immediately.
Another Swamp. Thanks for showing up on time.
Oh boy.
Thomas down to 11. Patnode just sitting with mana up. That does not bode well.
Draw a card. Another Swamp. Pass the turn back yet again. Patnode draws his card, and it looks like Patnode has an Essence Scatter in his hand. Yeah. And so he's going to play Molten Rebirth.
3 elementals.
Gives you 3? Oh yeah, because the young Pyromancer. Yeah, okay. Alright, so in for 3.
Yeah, that's no shrivel in this sideboard either.
Volkson draws a card. It's a Death Gaze. Cockatrice. I can't Essence Scatter that one fast enough. That's got to go.
Make
and
another guy.
Another guy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage with the young Pyromancer and those tokens. And does he have a burn spell to wrap this up? He does, in Flames of the Firebrand, and that is going to do it. So Nick Patnode does win the match for his team, and they're going to be playing in the top 4 later tonight.
You know the best part? He even won the roll on the Molten Rebirth.
Oh, sure. A little rebuy action. So, congratulations to Royce Walter, Nick Patnode, and Lloyd Kurth for Christopher Larson, Thomas Enevoldsen, and Michael Bonde. A pretty tough loss to take. Playing for top 4, Larson hoping to qualify for the Invitational next week in Somerset, but he's going to have to try it tomorrow, because it's not going to happen today.
Watch his chances slip away through someone else's fingers.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that Mulligan to 5 is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, he's got triple Mark of the Vampire. He's got Fiendslayer Paladin.
How do you kill a Fiendslayer Paladin?
I mean, yeah, the best that Patnode's that can do is either counter it with Essence Scatter, which he ended up having here, or dispersing it, and Disperse actually was used on that young Pyromancer.
Yeah.
So if Volkson was able to actually draw planes